why do we do this in the first place? What's the goal of genetically modifying an organism?
Yeah, the goals are similar to what we talked about with pesticides, to increase yield, to make larger, more meat-heavy animals, to make certain plants more resistant to a pesticide in general or in a given area. Mm-hmm. So it's all about increasing the quality, at least from in the most macro of sense, the quality and the yield, which those are all just details too. If less is being killed, yields better. If the product itself is larger, yields better. All of those things. So why it's done is very apparent. It's at the end of the day. I was going to say at the end of the day, like so many of these things, it's money. And this is not, you're using high level science and scientists. And so this is not a cheap process to engage in. That's the whole kind of other issues. Mainly who's doing this are the biggest of the big. Who's doing it in larger volume are the biggest of the big. And then you introduce potentially some other issues beyond even the GMO itself, potentially. That's
fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's why they do it. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So in the last 25 years, genetically modified crop production has experienced a 100-fold increase. This was from a study in 2017.
Wow.
190 million hectares of biotech, of GMO crops, are currently being farmed in the U.S., which is equivalent to nearly the entire surface of Mexico.
Wow.
That was mind-blowing. So
that's in the U.S.?
Mm-hmm.
So, we're talking about, that's the majority.
I'm sorry, it's worldwide. It doesn't explicitly say that, but it has to be worldwide.
I was going to say,
I'm sorry,
almost everything we're growing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, worldwide makes a little more sense.
Yes.
Okay.
So now, breaking that down, soy is 50% of that. The soybean oil, all the different uses for soy. Cotton is 13% of that. We're obviously not consuming cotton. Corn or maize is 30% of that. We're using some of that now for ethanol. So it's not like automatically all this is tomatoes but still it's just showing broadly what the volume of this is. This isn't some minor factor in terms of what we eat. Now, how important it is, we'll try to unpack that a little bit. But in terms of the scope of it, it's overtaken. It's massive.
That's amazing. Okay. And that makes sense. I don't care if you genetically modify what goes in my gas tank. That's fine.
Exactly.
But I care a little bit more what goes inside of me. All right.
Exactly.
All right.